Hi, I'm Patrick, a discovery guide for the Queen's Zoo. We have been exploring wetlands, and Jamaica Bay is one of the most biodiverse wetlands in the Northeast, home to 325 species of birds, 50 species of butterflies, 100 species of finfish, and various reptiles, amphibians, and small mammals. Don Reapy was the manager of Jamaica Bay Wildlife Refuge for 25 years and is now the Guardian of Jamaica Bay. He has led the coastal cleanup for New York for 30 years and started a program to remove derelict boats from the bay. He has organized thousands of volunteers to plant hundreds of acres of dune grass, which has been eroding at an alarming rate. Don oversees the creation of nesting structures for migratory birds like ospreys and raptors. We are fortunate to have Don here to speak to us today. We all know how much you love Jamaica Bay. Please, tell us how you first got involved with conserving Jamaica Bay as a career.
Well, that goes way back. I was teaching high school at the time. I teach high school English. And I'm driving down Cross Bay Boulevard and I saw the trail over here. I came out. I met some of the birders and started getting interested in the bay. And then in 1974, when the National Park Service took over the site, I worked one season as a seasonal that summer. Went back to school and came back in '79.
Did you get your Master of Science in Natural Resource Management first or after you started working at Jamaica Bay?
That was after working as just a season. Okay. After that, I went to University of New Hampshire and I worked for the Audubon Society of New Hampshire up there. And when I got my Master's in Resource Management, a position open here and I took it. So, although the first 2 years I was only seasonal, I worked 8 months and then finally got permanent. It wasn't easy to get permanent.
In 2004, you became the Guardian of Jamaica Bay. Can you tell us what that means and your priorities as a Guardian?
Well, that started out with some mitigation funding that the state DEC had. Because of my involvement over the years in the Jamaica Bay, they asked me if I wanted to be this protector, guardian of the bay, something like a baykeeper. So we called it Jamaica Bay Guardian. They gave us funding, went through the American Littoral Society, bought a boat, had some staff, and patrol the bay. We would look for any kind of major spills or development activity. Would also, get involved in marsh restoration and any activity in the bay, with all the different agencies too.
What do you think is most important about Jamaica Bay? How has it changed since 1984 when you first started working here?
Well, it's important because it's an urban estuary. So, it's degraded. A lot of it's been filled in. So it's been a lot of destruction in the bay over the last 100 years. But it's still a very productive ecosystem. And the fact that it's in this large urban center in New York City makes it even more valuable. It's open space and afford people a chance to commune with nature.
What is your favorite viewing area and your favorite wildlife to see in the refuge?
Well, actually, my favorite viewing area is right from my dock in Broad Channel. But also the West Pond. When you walk out the West Pond Trail and you have the cityscape in the background and the pond and ducks and geese and herons and egrets and ibises. So it's a beautiful spot for it. What was the part two?
What is your favorite time of year to birdwatch at the bay?
Probably springtime. After winter, spring comes around, things start to blossom again. Especially the plants that I put in here over the years, like beach plum and the red buds, when I see them in flower, it's really, it's nice. It's my favorite time.
Can you tell us how the bay changed since 1984?
Well, since 1984, and that's how many years? 84, I don't know, over 35 years, right? So it's changed quite a bit in terms of water quality. Because the city DEP put in a large holding tank in one of the basins, which really helped clean up the bay. And they upgraded all the treatment plants around the bay to reduce the amount of nitrogen coming in when they squeeze the sludge, so that Other than that, with the cleaner water, I've noticed new species coming in, things like seals. 30 years ago, we didn't see seals. It was pretty rare. Now, every winter, I see seals in the bay. This last winter, I photographed 11 seals hauled out on one of the islands. Whoa. We also had a humpback whale actually come into the bay last year. Came in, in the deep water channel on the south side. Came in a little ways and went back out. Marine turtles are occasionally seen, dolphins. So a lot of it, the marine life has grown and are doing better because of cleaner water. Things like whales. We are now seeing whales off the coast of Rockaway. Again, 30, 40 years ago, you didn't see any of this. So a lot of it has to do with protective status. Some of the legislation to protect fish species like the menhaden, for example. Protecting menhaden, that helped to increase the fish stocks, and whales and seals and porpoises benefited from that.
What would your message be to young New Yorkers?
Well, in terms of the environment and getting involved, I would just get out to all the open areas, the city parks. We have wonderful city parks, the zoos, national parks, the state parks. We now have Shirley Chisholm State Park, the landfills has been converted. And we have this 13,000-acre Jamaica Bay Preserve. To get out, learn about nature, and if you want to get involved, stay in school. Get a PhD.
Well, thank you so much, John, for taking the time to speak to us today.
My pleasure.